Okay, with the Kobe Bryant accident, a lot of my non-pilot friends have been asking me a lot of questions about the terms that the news stations use. So we're going to talk about that on this special edition of Taking Off. Hello, I'm here with Alex.
Hey guys.
And we're going to be talking about the terms that the news has been using in talking about the Kobe Bryant tragedy.
I've been hearing a lot of words that, somebody who doesn't know about aviation probably doesn't understand.
Yeah, and so my friends have been asking me, and the first thing that comes up is they don't quite understand what is VFR, what is IFR, and what's special VFR.
Okay.
So let me explain that real quick to non-pilots. This isn't for you pilots out there. I'm talking to non-pilots. VFR, IFR. The R stands for rules.
Okay.
So what we're doing is the FAA has said that you can choose to fly either set of rules. So VFR stands for visual flight rules. Okay. IFR stands for instrument flight rules.
Okay.
So visual flight rules, in a very simplistic manner, means I can maintain visual. I've got a cushion of visual around me. Depending on the airspace is what defines how much of a bubble around me I have to be visual.
Gotcha.
So in other words, with VFR, visual flight rules, I cannot fly into clouds. I cannot fly into fog. We call those things instrument meteorological conditions.
Okay.
Which is another term the news might be throwing out, IMC.
IMC, okay.
So instrument meteorological conditions, that basically means you're in a cloud, or you're in rain, or you're in a situation where you're visually obscured from seeing. So with visual flight rules, VFR, you're not allowed
this is Cessna,
to fly into clouds and into fog. And then you have instrument flight rules. With instrument flight rules, you are allowed to fly in the clouds.
Because you don't have to see, you're using the instruments to guide you.
I'm using the instruments totally to guide me. Gotcha. So when you fly in the clouds, you've got, on this trip, we've had some flying in the clouds. We just took off from Conroe and we went through 1,000-foot layer of clouds. You were in the clouds.
Yep.
Tell me, if I had slowly started to turn or anything, do you think you would have felt that?
No, you feel it just very little, but you can't really see where the ground is. If it's on top of you, below you, on the side, it really just messes your body up. You have no idea where you're going. You're so dependent on the instruments, which is why when we're going through the clouds, I'm looking at the instruments because I'm paranoid because of that fact.
And you're looking probably at the attitude indicator to see if I'm wings level.
Exactly.
That kind of stuff, because it is very easy to get disoriented. It's easy in clouds to become disoriented. You think you're turning left, so you just left. Or, you think you're banking, or you think you're banking right, so you turn left. And if you're not totally focused and transition from the visual to your instruments, it can quickly get sideways. Yep. Quickly.
Montana 71 fly heading 190.
Recently, I did a video for a client that has a helicopter simulator.
Oh, wow.
One of the things that they were doing for this video that we were doing was a course for helicopter pilots on IMC. You know what the IMC stands for? Instrument Meteorological Conditions. The first I is invert. So you accidentally fly into IMC. It's really important to not panic, to not get disoriented, and to transition. And when we took 4 helicopter pilots that flew this brand of helicopter into the simulator, 3 of them within 20 to 40 seconds had us upside down.
Oh my God. Wow.
So the funny thing too about helicopter pilots is that they fly low.
Okay.
They're comfortable flying low, and maybe they're not comfortable flying higher. I don't know. Us pilots, fixed-wing pilots, we're comfortable flying high. I'm very uncomfortable flying low.
Yep.
Low and fast. That scares me. But they're the opposite. So they're used to visual. They're used to flying around low, 1,000 feet up, or even lower. and if they hit a fog bank that's inadvertent IMC that they weren't expecting, all of a sudden everything's blind.
Yeah.
So it's really important to learn. Now, the pilot for Kobe Bryant, very experienced. He knew all this stuff, so we don't know what happened at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speculate.
Exactly.
Okay, so back to VFR versus IFR. An important differentiation.
We'll save it, thanks.
In VFR, I make the decisions where I go, how high I go. I'm responsible for separation from other traffic or from mountains or anything else.
Based on your visual.
Based on my visual.
Got it.
In instrument, air traffic control is responsible
Okay.
because they tell me where to go. I don't decide where to go.
They're your eyes.
But VFR, I can advise air traffic control which way I'm going to go, but it's up to me. And IFR, air traffic control, tells. And that's why you hear them in the background right now.
Yep.
I'm on an IFR flight plan.
Okay.
So they tell me where to go. Now, we're on top of the cloud layer. I could go VFR. This is VFR now, what we call VMC conditions. Visual meteorological conditions. But as soon as we start to descend, we'll be back into IFR. So we'll just stay at IFR.
Gotcha.
But I got to keep a listen to see if she calls me out.
Yeah, because she'll give you instructions.
She gives me instructions when I'm IFR. Okay. The other thing that you might hear with the Kobe Bryant wreck is special VFR.
Okay.
Now, by the way, the rules on visual, that buffer I was telling you about, all depends on what they consider the airspace that you're in.
Okay.
Now, airspace varies around different size airports. In the Kobe Bryant case, they were actually holding near what's a medium-sized airport, Class Charlie Airport.
Okay.
Then they transitioned through to a Class Delta airport, do their space. Now, not important to know what the rules are for those airspaces for non-pilots. It doesn't matter. But when you hear special VFR, what you're asking is the airport itself in that airspace has gone IFR. You're only allowing IFR traffic into that airport.
Okay.
Because the conditions have degraded and it's become more instrument meteorological condition.
Okay.
To a certain level. And airports define that according to how high the ceiling is above the ground or what the visibility is in length.
Okay.
So they have to have certain requirements in that. Now, it could be that it's gone instrument, the field has gone IFR, but it's still okay enough to you're low, you can see the airport.
Okay.
In that situation, you can call air traffic control, and request a special VFR. What that means is I can go into an IFR airspace, and I have permission to do that. But here's the key. In special VFR, you have to maintain visual. You still cannot fly into clouds or fog.
Gotcha.
Okay, so on a special VFR, you have to maintain visual. You have to be able to see. Once you're in the clouds, you have to be IFR.
Gotcha.
Now, let's say you've gone inadvertent IMC. So you've hit a cloud bank you weren't expecting, a fog rolled in on top of you, and like that, you're in IMC. Well, I mean, it's not time to panic. You can call, first thing you got to do is you got to transition down to your instrument.
Yep.
You call air traffic control, let them know that you're in inadvertent IMC.
Okay.
And you'll probably get further instructions. It looks like that pilot, well, it's not looking, this isn't speculation. The pilot did a rapid climb to 2,000 feet.
Wow. Was he maybe trying to get out of fog or something?
That would be speculation.
Sure.
That's something you might do.
Yep.
Or it's real mountainy there. So you just go climb, get above anything just because you're not sure. You're in all of a sudden you went from visual and you got mountains everywhere.
Yep.
And all of a sudden your visual's taken away. Oh crap, mountains are everywhere.
Yep.
So maybe going up is a smart move on a helicopter. I don't know. That would be speculation. I don't know.
713, fly heading 170.
So anyway, any other questions, terms you've been hearing on the Kobe Bryant tragedy?
Yeah, so how often and what would be the procedure for somebody flying VFR, they're in the air, having a good time to get back to the airport,
November,
but it's turned into IFR?
4612,
which happened to us Monday.
Yeah, but somebody who wouldn't have that training for IFR, how would they go about it?
Well, if you haven't had the training for IFR, that's a really big differentiator.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention about Special VFR, you have to be IFR rated,
Okay.
and you have to have a plane that's IFR capable.
Certified?
Yeah, to fly. To fly Special VFR.
Okay.
Okay, now your question is, if you're flying along and the airport goes IFR, and you've been flying VFR because you're probably low,
Yep.
what can you do? Well, you have a couple choices. If you're IFR, you can contact ATC and ask for a pop-up IFR clearance,
Okay.
which is what we did.
Yeah.
Also, if you're IFR, then you could also request a Special VFR approach to the airport.
Oh, okay.
And I wish I'd done that, by the way. I didn't think about it until later.
That was an option.
If you're not IFR, then you need to remain VFR.
Okay.
Do not go into IMC, instrument meteorological conditions, and you need to find an airport that's still VFR. So you can look around and see, and then go to it.
Gotcha. Also, something else that I heard from the Kobe thing is there a terrain awareness software in the plane, something like that?
That is something that's coming out a lot in the news, is TAWS,
Okay.
Terrain Awareness Warning System.
Yes, yeah.
And there are in the higher dollar avionics, which a lot of the carriers that take passengers and stuff like that, they might have it. The FAA does not require it in certain situations, and in Kobe Bryant's case, it's not required.
Oh, they didn't have it.
I don't think they had it. They said so at the press conference, and I just don't recall. But here's what they did say at the press conference from the NTSB. The NTSB had recommended to the FAA 15 years ago that any helicopter flying 6 or more passengers be required to carry TAWS.
Oh, okay.
But the FAA did not make that mandatory.
Interesting.
So they did not have terrain awareness warning system. Now,
Cirrus 8 Alpha Juliet, contact
that's an official system. In mine, I don't know if you noticed it when we were flying low the other day on that survey. I have a system with my GPS, which is the Garmin 430 WAS. It will, I update it monthly.
Okay.
And terrain data is updated every 3 months. The GPS updated monthly. And it's updated right now. And it knows when I'm flying low. It will give me terrain advisory.
Oh, wow.
If I've got something coming up. And a couple times when we were flying low the other day on that survey, it popped up.
Oh, wow.
Terrain warning. Yeah. So even with my little system, I've got something.
Okay.
That gives me terrain warning.
Yeah.
But it's not the official TAWS system. That I know. What other questions non-pilots might have about the Kobe Bryant thing?
Oh, man.
I will say this. You know, I've had people say, you know, I've heard that there was fire coming from the engine right before they descended. I saw that recent. Or got asked. First of all, they were in the fog. They were in IMC. If you saw fire coming from your engine, you were seeing through the clouds.
Yeah.
So that's fake news.
That's true.
There's a lot of fake news. Within hours of the accident, somebody posted a picture of a different helicopter in clear weather with like an explosion coming from the engine. And everybody started spreading that.
I saw a video of a helicopter spinning and hitting the mountain.
Yeah.
No fog and nothing there.
Everybody's looking for, you know, for their 15 minutes of fame, and so they'll put fake news out there.
Exactly.
A lot of fake news out there.
Exactly.
What will happen now, NTSB will come out with a preliminary report in the next few months, and then a year to 18 months from now will be the final NTSB report.
And you think they'll nail it down and get exactly what the cause was?
They will certainly try.
Especially if it's mechanical, you think they'll be able to tell?
Yeah.
Southwest 1385.
Their capability is pretty amazing.
Descend out of 10,000, and then cross over like
they'll
9,
try.
right down to 10 though, please.
What they will do is, in the final report, they will say that they will give all the facts of the situation, the weather, everything, and then they'll say what they believe are the contributing factors.
Good evening, Envoy
And because
3594.
many times a crash is not one thing.
300 to sign on the speed.
It's a combination of things. Maybe, I don't know, in Kobe Bryant's aircraft case, maybe he did go into IMC, but maybe he also had an engine failure. It could be contributing factors. It could be other contributing factors and other accidents. Maybe the pilot had a little bit too much to drink, or maybe he was flying high and hypoxia was starting to set in and he wasn't thinking clearly. So you could have a whole bunch of different things that go into contributing factors for an accident, but very rarely is it one thing.
Gotcha. Now, in plane crashes, I always hear about a black box. Do helicopters have black boxes?
Yes, some do.
Okay.
It's becoming more common as the technology has gotten better. In another thing you might hear is they'll talk about Part 121 and Part 135. In the NTSB press conference to the public, she mentioned those words.
Okay.
That's the rule book in the FAA Bible for pilots and air flying. They have, you think of it like a Bible book and chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Part 121 is that chapter in the Bible for the FAA.
Gotcha.
And Part 121 covers the major air carriers operations. Okay, so if you're flying under Part 121, major air carrier, then you have a whole new set of rules and requirements.
Oh, wow.
And they may require all sorts of navigation that I don't need. It wouldn't be very fair to people flying like me to have to live by the same standards as those flying a 737 carrying passengers. So you got 121, which is major carriers. Part 135 is for charters and things like that, like the private jets, and they were flying under the rules, the FAA's Bible, under Part 135, and those rules. And those rules don't require a TAWS system. And so they don't require black boxes.
Okay.
In Part 121, you require black boxes.
That makes sense.
Now, for me, I'm not having passengers that are paying or cargo, and so I'm flying under rule.
4620.
I'm flying under Part 91.
Okay.
So, and Part just means that book of the Bible of the FAA.
Yeah. Like a chapter.
Yeah, well, book, and because then there's chapters inside those parts.
Yeah.
So Part would be more like a book of the Bible. So, anyway, okay, so that's our primer for non-pilots on the tragedy that was the Kobe Bryant crash. 9 people, and that just is very sad. Incredible. Anyway, all you guys out there that love aviation, I hope you fly safe.
Forward, Baron 2031 Zulu.
Remember this one thing.
May I get an IFR letdown? May I just get an IFR flight plan on now?
So he's doing an IFR pop-up. Remember this. If you do excellent preparation, you won't need excellent skills.
So just direct here to Terrell.
So always stay ahead of the plane. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Affirmative.
Roger, and then